Welcome back. Today is Monday, 28th of November. Time check right now is 10 p.m. Singapore Asia time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today my voice is kind of a course. Have been cheering over the weekend for the long Thanksgiving weekend started from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And today, Monday, we are back. And boy, we thought that, we are still dealing with the FTX saga. And then a whole new thing just blew up apart right in the middle of the Thanksgiving Thursday. I was watching China very, very closely. Thursday night, the news came out that there were people burned alive in China because of the COVID-19 lockdown. And I'm going to share with you something that is like, there's a correlation. And I don't think anybody is talking about this right now. And, I was watching Twitter. There's a hashtag China Uprising. I'm watching CNBC. And this is a major blow up, major blow up. No one would ever thought of shouting in the streets in a mass protest that they want Xi Jinping to step down. That is how bad it is. And it is all triggered by students again from very, very elite Chinese universities spread across to the grassroots, spread across to different cities, everybody just coming out mass. Now, if this is happening, then we have something to benchmark against in terms of the timeline. So what I'm going to share here tonight is going to kind of be very, very scary. I want to encourage you guys to double check on the timeline. And because if it is true, then we're going to have a major blow up, all right? So I'm going to set this up right now, and we're going to do a correlational study. And, if I get this right, and it's very painful to compare the timeline, then we are looking at a major blow up all the way to Chinese New Year, which is a Lunar New Year in January 2023. All right? So here we go. I want to first of all track down what triggered this major protest in China. Okay? So I'm going to give you the logical sequence. And if you follow closely with me, you're going to catch the drift. And here we go. Step one, we have to go and trace back at the beginning, right over here, when there's this article about the daily Xinjiang fire that stirs anger at China's zero COVID policy. Okay? So if we track this particular timeline, this was on the 26th of November. And I urge you guys, to really pen this down. This was reported on 26th November, but what is really what we want to track is the actual day of it happening. So the actual day of it happening is right here in the regional capital Urumqi on Thursday night. Okay, so Thursday night, this thing start to spread already on Twitter. I'm following very closely on Twitter, and this thing start to blow up. That people got kind of a burned alive, killed, and 9 injured just because they refused to let the residents step out of the building for the very crazy zero COVID-19 policy. All right, took place on a Thursday. Now, while this is going on, so there's this trigger right here, right? There's some repressed feelings, repressed anger. There's no outlet. And while this is going on, they are stuck at home. They got nothing to do. What do they watch? They watch the World Cup. And if you look at the pictures of the World Cup, in a single picture like this, do you see anybody wearing masks? Yeah, there's only one guy here wearing masks. One guy, two guys. And that's about it. I mean, this is live World Cup coverage. And you imagine you're the Chinese stuck in your little condo, in your little room, and you're looking at the world. What the heck is going on? People of all nationalities coming together to cheer for the World Cup, and you are stuck in your residential building. And worse still of it all, while you're stuck, hey, what? There's a fire that broke out, and you can't run away from it. And and this gone crazy, right? So it started from a Thursday, and then I believe watching internationally World Cup is playing out, and all this we need to nail down the time frame. The time frame is really, really important. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do right here. It will shock you, right? So here we go. This is how I want to connect the dots for what is happening in China today. And I'm going to go to this particular article called The Timeline of Tiananmen Protests. This has similar fittings of Tiananmen protests. Students are involved, grassroots are involved. They pour to the streets, they destroy things around them, just like what we've seen in the Yellow Umbrella movement in Hong Kong. This is happening live at this moment. And if you look at the timeline, back then for Tiananmen, started in 1989. All right. So we tracked down 1989, and then we tracked down, there must be a trigger point. The trigger point back then was 15th of April, when Hu Yaobang death kind of triggered the whole movement. So you think of this 15th of April, Hu Yaobang death, as the same, in a way similar trigger of Chinese getting burned alive in buildings at Urumqi. That sparked off that movement, all right? So if I compare the two of them, 15th of April versus last Thursday. And here we go. I'm going to put two of them side by side. On the left is 1989, the year of the Tiananmen massacre. 15th of April. I'm going to lock it down right here. And then for us, this year, 2022, what is our date? Our date is last Thursday night. All right, so I'm going to kind of adjust this so everybody know what I'm doing right here. And last Thursday night is 24th of November. All right, so we have 15th of April equals to 24th of November. So I want you guys to write this down. 15th of April versus 24th of November. Correct. So 15 April 1989 equals to 24th of November 2022. So this is the day one. We define this as the day one, all right? So once we define the day one, the rest is easy. Once we get this formula right, okay? So this is day one, and here we go. You're going to see so many similarities on this. 15th of April is 24th of November. And if you add this day plus 3 days later, on 18th of April. And if you look at 24th of November, you plus 3, 1, 2, 3, the whole street protest started last night, Sunday night. Thursday, Friday, 1 day, Saturday, 2 days, 3 days later on Sunday night, the protest started. How amazing, right? So 15th April equals to 24th of November. That means I always add by about 9 days. 9 days to think about what is from Tiananmen versus what is today, all right? So they have, like, holy moly, 3 days of protest or demonstration back then in 1989. And since Sunday, we're going to count. All right, Sunday is day one, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right, so you must count the days up. So there are 4 days I need to count. So it started on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this will spread like wildfire until this Wednesday before the police start to wrap their brains around how to deal with this problem. Is this going to save the face of the Emperor Xi Jinping? Are they going to send the military in to kind of lock up everybody? What are they going to do about it? So everybody just wrapping their head around this problem that just erupted. Wednesday will know, right? So if Wednesday will know, that is the demonstration will spread for 4 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And what happens on on Thursday, 22nd. On the 22nd of April, back then in Tiananmen, what will happen for this Thursday? Probably something like a memorial. Somebody died and somebody treated like a martyr. And I don't know. I know we are just waiting. Something similar would happen. And then you add another 2 more days, the media start to kick in. Inflammatory editorial. And already, the media has already started writing that if the academia is not on the President Xi Jinping's side, the president is in trouble. Now, if he's in trouble, he cannot step down. He will go all out to whack everybody, just like what happened in Tiananmen, all right? So you use this as a gauge to see how this will pan out for the current China uprising in the year 2022. So you have a 26 April inflammatory editorial, and then we continue. You go right here, 4th of May. All right. So you trigger into the second month. So for November, we enter into December. So I think May equals to December. That's my thinking right now. The numbers will just keep rising and rising. More and more people sick of staying at home. They go out into the streets because they are telling each and every one, in unity there are numbers, and they will not be afraid. So everyone is flooding on the streets right now, right? So May equals to the current December in 2022. And then there's a hunger strike. I'm not too sure how this will play out for the current situation. And then you go on down, there's some kind of state visit from Russia. This one I'm not really interested. And then 19th of May, back then for Tiananmen, Zhao Ziyang visited the square, visit students or the protesters to appeal to them, please cool down. I think this again will play out this year. Somebody will take the lead, go to the streets and say, cool down. But there's no turning back. I mean, right now the Chinese are talking about democracy, freedom, and personal rights. They are talking about all these words from the Western media after watching the World Cup. I mean, it's no more turning back. So what if you have someone influential from the Central Communist Party to go out there to come to the streets? It's not going to work. We've seen that in 1989. And then you go on down. By then, there will be a signal troops will move in. And I believe this signal, this is really tough, right? With +9, so if May 20th +9, that will be sometime 29th of December 2022 next month. They will send the army troops in. The moment the army troops is in, that's it. They'll barricade everybody, round everybody up. And you see that sensitive period where from May they cross over to June, which is in our context, the January of 2023, heightened tension because the students will not back down. The troops will not back down. So two parties are facing off each other. And if you think about 1st of June, I add 9 days, that will be like 10th of January. All right? 10th of January. I just use this estimate. Correct me. Let's see how history will play out this month, next month, and all the way to January. Heightened tensions, that was all the way 24th of May to 1st of June. And then you have all these images, which they already started. They start waving white paper, right? They want their freedom. And then you go on to 2nd of June, somebody will approve, and they call it the Communist Party elders approved the decision to put down a counter-revolutionary riot by force. If we take June as February, that will be 9th of February. And they probably let everybody celebrate Chinese New Year. And after Chinese New Year, If the protests continue to swell up, then 9th of February will be so-called an offensive approved. And then 3rd of June plus 9, that will be 12th of February, the night of the bloodshed. And then the famous 6-4, 4th of June, what we'll see is the anger and shock when the troops take down the students and the commoners, and there's gunfire throughout. This is the 6-4 Tiananmen Square massacre. And if you remember this image, one man standing in front of the tanks. So, of course, we don't wish to see this happen, but the similarities are all there. And we have never seen something like this. We never even dare to dream that they will shout out chants and slogans of asking the emperor to step down. This is unheard of, unprecedented in China. So I take the chain of events that took place 1989, Tiananmen Square, Tiananmen protests, and if we take 15th of April as the trigger, you plus 9, there'll be 24th of November, the trigger of the outbreak of fire in the building in Urumqi. Then the rest of the sequence, I think it will probably play out plus minus some variation. And this, I think, is the final outcome. So today's video is really kind of heart-wrenching to watch. I encourage all of you go and share on Twitter. The world got to know about what the heck is going on. And I'm going to talk about how specific stocks will get affected. And it's going to be like really, really crazy. So I want you guys to search on China Uprising. Hashtag China Uprising. Click on latest. And then you see things like that. Holy moly. Would you ever imagine? You see this? This is in China. Everybody taking out a camera to send the videos out. Everybody. This is in China. And this one. Holy moly. Someone blocking. I don't know what this guy's trying to do. Oh my gosh. How about this? So you are seeing live right now, and is very, very shocking. So go and track hashtag China Uprising and feel it, the angst, the anger, the repression. And it doesn't make sense anymore to have zero COVID-19 policy. So there are only 3 outcomes from this China Uprising. Number 1, I believe it will end up like Tiananmen massacre. And I give you the dates, you just plus 9. It's really, really difficult. You take 15 plus 9, that's 24th of November, last Thursday, and the chain of events will just play out exactly like what I shown you here, the timeline of the Tiananmen protest covered by BBC. All right, that's one outcome. Second outcome, which I think, which is the other extreme, President Xi steps down. I don't think that's going to happen. He just made himself the emperor is not going to step down. The third outcome is somewhere in between. That he agrees, okay, carry on, you can come out. There's no more zero COVID-19 policy. And guess what? All the Chinese will die together. Because there's no vaccine in the country. There's no vaccination. And people is no longer thinking about getting vax or booster. They're just thinking of tearing down what is known as communism. This is a major pivotal point in the history of China. So, my friends, I share with you today with a heavy heart. We just finished Thanksgiving and we kind of just trying to recover from the FTX blowout. I mean, this year is really non-stop action from inflation, interest rate hike, invasion of Ukraine by Russia, isolation of China because of COVID-19, inverted yield curve, implosion of the cryptocurrency market, and then you have ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile flying everywhere. And right now, holy moly, you have this outbreak that is not just one person, everybody. How do you manage a 1.4 billion people protest? This is crazy. So there are three outcome I share with you already, but there are three areas of stocks we really need to look out for. The first one, I want to quickly get it done with, and you guys do your research. And that's where hedge funds bought the dip in Chinese stocks. Here are their favorite ADRs. I'm telling you, you're buying too early. This will play all the way out to February. If you take, holy moly, if you take June 4th of June, Tiananmen 1989, that would be the equivalent 9 plus 4, 13 of February 2023. It will drag all the way probably to Valentine's Day for 2023. It's not going to, you cannot suppress an uprising like this. No way you can do that. So this guy start looking at this particular stocks. Let's go through it first. And the list goes here. All right. You have Alibaba, JD, Pinduoduo, Baidu, Neo, Trip, New Oriental Education, KE Holdings, VIP Shop, TAL Education. But I feel that it's no longer about these stocks. It's about the entire China standstill. It also got triggered from Foxconn, the factory that produces 50% of the iPhones in the world. They were living in very, very poor living conditions. 2% share one room. Each person does a shift of 12 hours. So one person go out of the room to work, the other one stay back to sleep. And then the guy return back to sleep and the other one go out to work. They've been doing this every day. So much so that one by one, each one of them start to kill themselves, commit suicide. And the people just couldn't handle. It's like you're treated like a robot. The living conditions are terrible. And that also is one of the trigger where Foxconn workers ran away from the factory and then the man in white tried to arrest them, catch them. I don't know what, they want to torture them or whatever. So Apple will take a hit. But I'm telling you, I think who will really take a big, big hit? This company, I think, is in severe conversation right now, but nobody is talking about it. And I suspect Tesla is going to take a major hit. So Tesla, the only profitable gigafactory in the world is Shanghai. And because Elon Musk owns Twitter, he will be under pressure by the Chinese government to kind of do a censorship on Twitter. And I believe so far no censorship has taken place yet, but he will be under pressure. You don't censor that out, I'll block you from exporting cars out of China. And that's it. Tesla will get hit. Anything goes right now, all the way to February, and they don't care. They just want to stamp down the uprising. So this guy is in trouble. You know, that changed our entire thesis within just one Thanksgiving weekend. I kind of was shocked to come back and face this another new world. So my friends, 2022 is really, really a crazy, crazy year. And, you know, you can help us spread this message. I'll be spending more time analyzing this. And for those of you who are with me on Don't Stop Believing Trade Notification, I'll be firing out trades. But I feel, right now for Chinese and China, it's a goner all the way until February. I think you follow the same timeline of the 1989 Tiananmen massacre. Let's see how this play out. This is really a critical time to have this erupting at this moment. And once it's erupted, no turning back. China will never be the same again. It will never be the same again. And you just need to study the history of Tiananmen 1989. It took how many years for them to recover from that? So I want to end off tonight really with a heavy heart. Uh, it is just a brand new world that we're entering. And tomorrow, I'm teaching 2 days of the class on the best insiders of the world. But I always teach the first part of the class by sharing the key developments of the world. And this is change everything. I mean, you can have Jim Cramer saying that what happens in China shouldn't affect US stocks. That's bloody ridiculous because China is the number one supply chain. You cannot discount that. Everybody will get affected somehow. It's just like how we survived 2020, 2021, the supply chain bottleneck, all stuck at Shanghai ports. Goods couldn't be shipped out. So you're going to expect the same, the second repeat of the supply chain bottleneck. And more people will move their offshoring or onshoring back domestically, back home, away from China. And you have 1.4 billion people getting hungry, getting poor, unemployment is all-time high. What do you expect? Non-stop protest, non-stop uprising. It's going to be really, really terrible. And the worst scenario was already discussed on air that maybe this time they want to distract everybody, take a launch against Taiwan. We never know, right? So let's see how this play out. Maybe what I say today is a bit too dramatic for you to absorb, but I encourage you, go and study Tiananmen massacre. You will feel what I'm talking about. I want to thank you for taking part in tonight's YouTube. Please join me again on Thursday, not Tuesday, not Wednesday. I got 2 days class to teach, but join me on Thursday as we kind of reverse engineer the timeline set up by 1989 Tiananmen massacre. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. Good night, everybody.